Imagine this. You're on Jeopardy back in the day and Alex Trebek says this.
The next category is YouTube business.
Yeah, I'll take YouTube business for $600, please. Then, in his classic game talk show host voice, says,
This is the number one thing keeping you stuck at $100,000.
What is Operation Overwhelm?
Nice. Here comes the Daily Double.
There's probably so many reasons why right now you're stuck at $100,000 revenue in your YouTube business. And in today's video, I'm narrowing down the top 5 reasons which are keeping you from getting to that next level in your business. Let's get into it. And that first thing is you are working in your business and not on your YouTube business. And so as a creator, a YouTuber, and also a small business owner, we wear a ton of hats, especially when we cross the 6-figure level. The responsibilities, the overwhelm, the tasks, everything starts to pile up and up and up, and you're being pulled in all of these different directions, and you don't have time to complete every single thing at your best and maximum capacity because it's literally impossible because your focus is so divided. So the goal is for you to become a CEO, right? I know that's easier said than done, right? But the goal is to do that because you have to gradually remove yourself from the daily responsibilities to be able to be that visionary that you had like when you first started your business, right? And so I compare this to when I was an EIT. And for those of you that don't know, I used to be a civil engineer. And back before I became an engineer, I was an EIT, or an engineer in training. So I was I had the engineering knowledge, I had the degree, the education, I was an internship, I was shadowing different engineers that were in practice. So I was doing the engineering things and I was acting like an engineer, but I wasn't an official professional engineer yet. So it's the same kind of concept when we're talking about wanting to go to that CEO level, wanting to get out of the solopreneur phase. Even if you have a team of 1 or 2, you're still feeling this way. And so think of it as you're a CEO in training, right? You've got to start acting like one in some capacity, because if you keep doing every single thing, you're human. You have a maxed out capacity, right? And so there's a point when you really have to get help so that you can start chipping away at doing less and less and less in your business. And the reason is you need to be able to continue to build and not stay stuck at this one level. You need to be able to keep the vision and the bigger goals in mind. And most importantly, you want to get unstuck in this cycle of overwork and overwhelm so that you can perform at your very best. Because let's face it, at the 6-figure mark, you're still in that freelancer mode, right? Where you're still trading time for money, and there's nothing wrong with that. But technically, the business can't run without you yet. And so I compare it to raising kids, because now that I'm a new mother, I totally get it. It's like you want to do everything for your kids, right? And you want to be able to, keep them from falling. And we want to make sure that everything is under control, but we can't do this forever. We gradually have to let our kids, learn and do things on their own and be able to, detach the dependency from us. And it's the same exact thing with our businesses. Now I'm curious, if you're aspiring to get to that CEO level, go ahead and type in CEO in the comments. I'd love to know what point you're at in business. So now that you've made it to 6 figures, which is absolutely an incredible accomplishment, you're now going to have to start hiring if you haven't already in order to get to that mid 6-figure level and that 7-figure level. You really need a team. It's impossible to get to that next financial milestone without one. Just from a capacity perspective, it's insane to think that just one person can do it. The amount of functions, tasks, all the operations, the responsibilities, it just cannot be done by one person. And I totally get it. If you're scared to hire, totally valid. You have all the right in the world to be scared to hire, because we don't know how to hire. No one teaches that, right? No one teaches us human resources, and we don't know how to do position descriptions and do interviews and all these things. It's really awkward when you're doing it for the first time. And so the key is which department of your business is needing the most support next, aka wanting to delegate that off. And so the key thing is to document it so well, get the processes in place, so that way when somebody does come on board, the hiring and the training is seamless because the documentation is already there. And the idea is when you hire that person after that first 30 days of training, after that, the ROI should be incredible because you're able to now get X amount of however many hours back from not having to do that anymore. Then you can focus on those activities that you've been dying to get to, but you just haven't had time. And PS, big hint, if you haven't hired out yet all the operations of your YouTube channel, you're going to want to do that ASAP, right? That's kind of like the low-hanging fruit of, you know, operations and stuff. You need to be able to outsource all things editing, all things pre-optimizing, post-optimizing. Definitely make that a priority. By the way, if you're curious about the new way to work with myself and my incredible team on how you can stop working so damn much in your YouTube business in order to create a more spacious work week, you're definitely gonna wanna check out a live private training that I'm hosting just within a week here. And in that private training, you're going to learn all about how to run your six-figure YouTube business in 10 hours per week. If you'd like to find out more information and see if it would be a good fit for you, there's an application to apply to be invited to the live private training. Accepted applicants will receive access to this private training, and if you've already applied, be sure to check your email for the next steps. The next huge factor on why it's really difficult to scale past that six-figure mark is because you're lacking scalable structures. So these are things that activities, tasks, responsibilities that require a lot of your time. So for example, one-on-one calls with clients. Maybe you're doing a ton of cohorts, right? So you're having a bunch of live events, you're doing a lot of live launching, it's exhausting. If you are doing something where you're attaching your personal brand to the product, that is the danger zone because you don't want to have the product depend on you so much that you can never remove yourself. So one thing that I had to do during my maternity leave and when I was gone for my business for 3 months was I had to duplicate myself in the form of a coach. So I had to hire 2 other coaches to come to my community and teach the curriculum for me. And it actually worked out very seamless. I was able to have them watch the training, go through and understand some processes, and they were able to serve my students to the highest level. And that's an example of, duplicating yourself and trusting in somebody else to do the fulfillment with your clients. Another trap that we fall into is definitely undercharging for our highly, highly valuable and transformational products. So maybe you're charging between 1 to 2K right now for a course and community. Maybe consider making it a high ticket product, because right now what you're trying to doing is overcompensate and put more bells and whistles into your product to justify the price when it's already probably valued at 5x or 7x the price. So don't be afraid if you're thinking like, man, my product has transformed so many lives and is worth way more than it is. That's when you know it's probably time to charge more. The next reason that's keeping you from leveling up is boundaries. Are boundaries? Is boundaries? Boundaries. You probably have none. Okay, so to establish boundaries, you have to set clear boundaries, I don't know how else to say it, with your clients, with your schedule right now, with your routine, with your habits, with your availability, right? You need to make yourself less available, okay? You have to time block and be strict about, I'm not doing any meetings for the first 3 weeks of every single month, and that's final. Like, that's non-negotiable. So there's things that need to start being non-negotiable. I need to stop working every day at 4 o'clock. No questions asked. Just boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. This is what's going to separate you to really start creating more space and be able to work less and remove yourself in your business. And the next really important point is not working on yourself. So you're not working on personal development. This is a huge thing. If you can relate to creator burnout from your YouTube channel, let me know in the comments, because this happens. Creator burnout happens for this reason almost all the time, because creators are obviously burnt out from working so much. And then because of that, they're not able to have the creative space that it requires to have fresh new ideas, fresh new intros and content, and have the space to think about, what do I want to talk about now? There's no time to script and have fun and, bring the joy back into content creation. You're not able to evolve, right? Because that's what was happening to me. On my original channel, for example, I would just go and make the same videos every single time because I had no time to think about anything else and what I wanted to talk about, because I was so busy when I was not filming that once I got on camera, I'm like, well, let me just talk about this, what I talked about last month, because I already know it and I could spit it out. And I got extreme creator burnout and it just super pigeonholed. And the other thing is you really need to make space for mentorship, for trainings, for things that are going to accelerate you as the CEO. You have to, there's no CEO that doesn't already invest so much in themselves, right? And the other thing too is like, once you commit to working on yourself, you're working on other things in your life, like your relationships, your peace of mind, your health, you're spending more time with your family. These are so important, not just so you can have rest and recuperate and have downtime so you can show up as your highest self, but because those are the times when you're doing non-work things where you have your best ideas and your best inspiration. Now, here's another huge one, probably the biggest one on this list, and that is comparison, right? You are comparing yourself like crazy to other people, to other creators, other small business owners, and it's consuming your life, right? It's getting deep into that subconscious and telling you you're not doing enough. You're not making enough revenue. You need to do more. You're not worthy of taking a break. Because everyone's business and social life and everything like that looks so perfect and filtered on social media. And then it becomes a narrative like, oh my gosh, they're succeeding so much and I'm so behind. And oh my gosh, they're doing XYZ and implementing this new thing. I need to do that too. And I need to feel obligated to have a free Facebook group and, post 5 times a week on blah, blah, blah. And it gets crazy, right? All because you're comparing yourself to something that on the outside seems perfect, but it's a mess. Like, trust me, behind the scenes, there's something going wrong behind their business, right? I promise you there is. And this is speaking from so many years of experience of comparing myself to other people. Like, it's toxic. It really, really gets toxic. And one of the worst parts is that their goals also become your goals. And then when you are not able to hit those goals, it becomes this huge downward spiral. And you're like, wait a minute, why was I even wanting to achieve this anyway? Like something I saw on Instagram. And you just question, you're like, why was I doing this? And you probably don't even have the same values as that person. So let me give you an example, right? There's a business owner that I felt like, man, this person always made me feel so behind, like showing up everywhere on every single platform and social media. And it used to make me feel bad, like I'm not doing enough. But then I'm like, this person values working like 6 days a week, all day, every day. This person's value or goal is to have the most output as possible. That is definitely not what I want to do. Like, that is not where I see myself in 5 years, definitely not in 10 years. I value spaciousness in my calendar. I don't like looking at a calendar and it being full of meetings and full of all kinds of stuff. No way, especially now that I'm a new mom, like no way, no. And I value traveling, and I value, growing and as an individual and being able to be and show up super epically for my clients, right? So my point to all this is, this is a wake-up call, a reminder to unsubscribe from all of these different things that you're not really attached to. It's your permission to unfollow everyone that you need to on social media, because this is just going to chip away at your subconscious and your inside, and it's not even necessary. All right, if you made it to this point in the video, amazing. Again, reminder to apply in the link in the description for the live private training all about running your 6-figure business in 10 hours per week. I advise you to check out this video coming up all about how to remove yourself from your YouTube channel and small business. That video is coming up right here. Just click and I'll see you there. Fellow YouTube business owners who consider themselves professional and full-time creators, I have a question for you. If you decided to step away from your YouTube business for a day or a week,